Well, hey everyone, and greetings from Radio Wasteland Records here in Midland. And I know it's not our regularly scheduled time for our live updates, but I thought, what the heck, you know what? We're going to do a special live one. It is Thursday afternoon, February 16th, and just about a half an hour or so ago, the Record Store Day folks dropped the list for 2023. So we do now officially have our Record Store Day 2023 list, and I thought we'd hop on, do a quick live. I know not a lot of folks watching at the moment, but down the line you get to see this as well. But just a very quick preview and a rundown down the list. I'll be looking at this for the first time as well. So I guess this could count as a reaction video at the same time. But I thought we would take a quick look and see what we've got in store for coming up for Record Store Day 2023. And again, if you don't recall, Record Store Day 2023 being held on April 22nd across the US and in Europe. All sorts of great record stores everywhere participating. And this list is our first look at the titles that are coming out. A couple of quick things to note as we go through this. You're going to get a look at denotations for what are called Record Store Day exclusives, which means that this is the only time that they're going to be released is on this Record Store Day coming up, and a Record Store Day first, which means that at some point in time they will be reissued. Maybe not the same configuration or packaging as the actual Record Store Day one itself, but will be reissued. Then there's also a regional one, which if we see any of those, we'll talk about that down the line. Now, this is going to be separate from our normal preview video. This is just a quick look at the list to see what's out there. We will do our annual Record Store Day preview of the titles that we have in stock the night before Record Store Day. So that coming up in April. We'll also do a deeper dive on some of these and we'll talk about the descriptions. But I wanted to get out here, as I mentioned, and just do a real quick rundown of the list and show you guys what's in there and give you some thoughts on this. So let's see if I can do this absolutely right. And there we go. If you head to recordstoreday.com or head to our website or our Facebook page, we will have the links up there to check the list out. But I wanted to kind of give a quick rundown of this and see what we see. There's a couple of different versions, by the way. You can look at this as a PDF, which is what we're doing now, which is just everything alphabetized. Then you've got a searchable version on the Record Store Day website as well, which you can go through just as easily. So let's see if we can blow that up a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so here is my initial reaction looking at the Record Store Day list 2023 for April 22nd, 2023. Right off the bat, we see a couple of live ones from the 1975 BBC Philharmonic. Oh, no, not a couple, the two different ones. This first one is a double LP, and then there's a cassette. Stop trying to make cassettes happen. All right. I know they're out there, but this is Record Store Day. So that could be a good one. Again, down the line, we'll get into some deeper descriptions on these. I just wanted to blow through the list very quickly and show you some of the highlights. The Allman Brothers Band, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1971, a double LP live recording could be a good one. The B-sides of Little Earthquakes by Tori Amos should be a fun one as well. We got a Chet Baker from Kraft Recordings, a couple different ones from Chet Baker showing up. I've already heard that this is going to be a big one, at least in the Gleason household. A Bastille live, an MTV Unplugged live in London, double LP set. So that should be a cool one as well. Bjork, 12-inch single from Bjork coming up. Something from Frank Black, Black Francis coming up live in 2006. We got a Black Keys live. That's the other cool thing. You're going to get a lot of other live performances and remixes and unique stuff for Record Store Day. So that looks fun too. The Black Keys live at the Beachhead Tavern in 2002. Let's see what else is on here. Scrolling down, we got something from Blur. A David Byrne. The complete score from the Catherine Wheel double LP coming from Rhino Records. Canned Heat Vintage reissue from Culture Factory. Some Captain Beefheart. A double LP from Beefheart. Belinda Carlisle remix. So it's a remixed version of her self-titled. A couple from Eric Carr. This, well, a couple too, a double LP of Rockology and a CD version on there as well. Alex Chilton. We were just talking about Alex Chilton last night at home, trying to think of some of the stuff that he's done, but live from Alex Chilton showing up as well. The cow sills. Okay, there we go. And it'll be the cow sills. The Cranberries, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee is on here. The Cure doing Show, a remastered version, new for 2023. We see some Miles Davis on here. Death. Okay, I'm going to have to look at this. Fate, the Best of Death. That is probably not the Detroit punk band Death, but more likely the metal band Death instead, but we'll find out for sure. There's our Dio. Not a picture disc, though. So Dio, live in Fresno, 1983. It ain't Record Store Day unless you got a Dio picture disc. Let's see what else is on here. Doctor Who could be a fun one. Eric Dolphy, The Musical Prophet Expanded. That bears some looking. That's going to be some interesting music from there. We've got an early singles package of the Donnas, and then 3 from the Doors. Look very closely. So these 3 releases from the Doors are on 3-inch records. Those are those goofy little ones that they put out a few years back where they did. I just realized I'm covering myself up there. The goofy little ones that they did a couple years back for that specific player, the Crosley player that plays 3-inch singles. So more of just kind of a little novelty to have, I guess. And then there is one other Doors one, the the Doors limited edition RSD. Oh, the turntable. I get this now. So we're getting 3 different 3-inch records from the Doors and a special Doors mini turntable, the Crosley. Sound on those isn't the best, but again, it's kind of unique for you Doors fans out there. You could have some fun with it. Duran Duran is on here. Let's see what else. And Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a reissue of Brain Salad Surgery, some Brian Eno, Bill Evans, a Fleetwood Mac, Albatross, and Jigsaw Puzzle 12-inch single. So just a couple of songs on that. A Flock of Seagulls, Rare Birds. That is a fun one. Let's see. Garbage is here. Witness to Your Love, an EP from Garbage. The Jerry Garcia Band. How sweet. It is live at the Warfield Theater in San Francisco. Generation X. Again, I'm going to have to double check, but that's probably going to be the Billy Idol group, his first group in there. Okay. Excuse me. A Crispin Hellion Glover. That should be very interesting if it is what I think it is, but we'll do some more research on that. Here's your live Grateful Dead box set from 1977, live at Boston Garden. That looks like it's going to be a 5 LP. And again, look to the left of this. If it says E, that means that it's an exclusive, and you're not going to see this come back anytime ever. It's just a specific release for Record Store Day. So I forgot to mention that some of these are going to be exclusives, and the F on the left stands for a first press, which means it will be reissued at some point in there. Let's see what else that pops out on here. Howlin' Wolf, a live Howlin' Wolf, and a Husker Du tonight. Longhorn, first Record Store Day first, but some cool to see some Husker Du. Here is the release from our Record Store Day ambassadors, Jason Isbell and Amanda Shires, an EP called The Sound Emporium. So that could be a good one as well for you fans of Isbell and Shires. Let's see, Jesus Jones live, Joan Jett and the Blackhearts up your alley. And then one more time, we will get into these a little bit deeper at a later date and talk a little bit more about what these releases are. Let's see, a Billy Joel, I almost said Billy Joel, live at the Great American 1975 double LP set, exclusive. Elton John, Don't Shoot Me, I'm the Piano Player, a double LP version of that. See some Norah Jones on there, as well as a Carole King Legacy Demos. B.B. King, Blues is King. Let's see, that is cool. John Lennon, Give Me Some Truth. A 9 record 10-inch box set. That could be interesting. Let's see what else pops out. Madness is on here. A Madonna, American Life mix show. So we'll figure out what that is. Post Malone coming up with a 12-inch single on here. A Paul McCartney Red Rose Speedway reissue. That could be very interesting as well. A Mr. Big. That's always folks looking for that. Some Eddie Money covers. Okay, we'll find out some more on that. Looks like it could be cover tunes by Eddie Money. A Kip Moore deluxe edition of Wild Ones. You Nashville fans. A picture disc from Motley Crue doing Helter Skelter. Motorhead Lost tapes continue on here as well. Stevie Nicks doing the entirety of Belladonna Live, the album from 1981, double LP on there. Ted Nugent, the Nuge Vault, Volume 1 from Sound City, so greatest hits of early Ted Nugent. Hopefully we'll see some Amboy stuff popping up on that one. Let's see, Off. Some folks were looking for Off before. Charlie Parker. Dolly Parton is on here. The Monument Singles, 1964 LP, a Pearl Jam double LP called Give Way. There's also a CD version again. This is Record Store Day, folks. A CD version of the Pearl Jam release coming as well. The Pixies, live version of Doolittle. That should be a fun one as well. The Pogues doing Stiff Records B-sides, some Porcupine Tree. Oh, Susie Quattro, a reissue of Quattro. That's a great Michigan artist. Well, roots in Michigan, of course, originally. Elvis is on here. Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime 2. I know a lot of folks always looking for some of that. The Ramones, Pleasant Dreams. Keith Richards doing Vintage Vinos, double LP. Let's see. Kenny Rogers, The Rolling Stones, a reissue of Beggar's Banquet. That is going to be an exclusive. We'll do some digging and get the description on that to see what that one entails. Let's see. Some Rundgren. Shadows Fall. Archie Shepp. Some good experimental jazz from there. The Sisters of Mercy doing The Reptile House, a reissue from them. Some Sun Volt. Let's see. Soul Asylum doing an MTV Unplugged live from Soul Asylum. An entire selection of the Soul Jazz Records Presents series. So there's a few of those to go through. Some Sparks, a couple different from Sparks on Friday Music. Those are always interesting to get. Couple from Ringo, double LP and a compact disc of Stop and Smell the Roses. Let's see, Joe Strummer, Sun Ra, Supergrass, there it is. An exclusive Taylor Swift Folklore, the Long Pond Studio Sessions double LP. All right, we've got our Taylor Swift out of the way. T-Rex, cool, rocking and rolling in there. Coco Taylor, The Temptations, Mars Volta, Francis the Mute, a reissue. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's a 12-inch single of that, exclusive. Let's see what else is popping out here. A U2 release, an EP from U2, UFO double LP. Let's see, some various artists, if anything pops out in there. We'll go through those a little bit deeper as we get closer to the day, and we do that, but several various artists. Van Halen Live right here, right now, a 4 LP set exclusive from Van Halen. Okay, all right, here it is. This is a great one. I have been waiting and waiting for this reissue because these are great Michigan artists as well. But the Verve Pipe are finally, and by finally I mean finally, getting a reissue of the Villains LP. I'd been hoping that was going to show up, and hope that maybe that they would put out a Music on Vinyl reissue of that. The good news is that's going to be a first pressing. We don't know how many are being pressed for the Record Store Day version, but very, very happy to see that the Verve Pipe are on here with a reissue of Villains. That's been a long time coming. And here's another good one. The Violent Femmes. Oh man, I'm feeling old. 40th anniversary of the Violent Femmes self-titled LP, Violent Femmes. And we get a couple of Muddy Waters, a Scott Whelan double LP, 12 bar blues, some Wilco, The Wonder Years, yes, live at Knoxville. We'll find out a date on that. And Warren Zevon, The Wind. So there you have it, folks. There is our Record Store Day 2023 quick check of the list. Just a very, very quick rundown of what we can look forward to coming up on April 22nd. Stick around here on the Radio Wasteland's YouTube channel. We will go much more in depth on these releases to give you some deeper descriptions as we get a little bit closer. Once we get into that on a much longer broadcast, we'll also have our special live preview of what we have in store coming up the night before Record Store Day in April. So please make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Check out our other social media when you get a chance. And speaking of our social media, once we go through this list a little deeper, probably later on this evening, we'll put up a thread on our Facebook page and we'll start taking requests. Again, we cannot hold, reserve, or pre-sell any of these. What we do with the request is just to try to get an idea of what you folks are looking for when we put our orders in, which are going to be coming up very, very quickly. So there you have it, a first look. I'd encourage you to dig deeper in the list, find out what's in there, what's cool. Please leave a comment below on what's floating your boat this time around. Watch for our more in-depth preview and watch for our social media post, which will count as the official thread for requests and wish lists for Record Store Day 2023. Didn't even get a chance to look. A couple of quick comments. Chuck sees a Randy Macho Man Savage. I missed that one in there. And Mother saying hi from up north side. So, okay, folks, you have a great one. I'm going to get back to it here at the store, getting ready for our vinyl drop. Our regular stuff, business goes on at Radio Wasteland. Check out the list, and we will talk to you next Saturday, this coming Saturday, on our regular live update. And we'll talk a little bit more about the list then. Till then, have a great one, folks. We'll talk to you next time from Radio Wasteland. Thanks for being here.